Well, thank you for joining us here for the latest news and weather where you live. I'm Joe Ellison. All right, one day after elections, we're looking at all of those races to let you know how voters voted around our area. First, let's talk about Sarah Huckabee Sanders is set to make history as the first female governor of Arkansas. Sanders took a commanding lead over Democrat Chris Jones early and now will take over as governor when Asa Hutchinson exits office January. 5 News reporter Catherine Gilker was in Little Rock where Sanders celebrated that historic win. Take a look.
I'm here at the State House Convention Center in Little Rock, where Sarah Huckabee Sanders gave her victory speech after being elected the 47th governor of the state of Arkansas and the first woman to ever be governor in our state.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders told her supporters it will be an honor of a lifetime to serve as Arkansas's 47th governor and the first female governor Arkansas has had. She told her supporters that no matter who became the next governor, Arkansas was going to make history. This will also be the first father-daughter governor in the country. Her father, Mike Huckabee, was Arkansas's 44th governor, serving from 1996 to 2007. Sanders says at the end of the day, this campaign was never about her. It was about everyone across the state, even the people who did not vote for her. She says she looks forward to being Arkansas's very best governor for the next 8 years.
I will never, ever forget who and what we are fighting for, because I have 3 little reminders, Scarlett, Huck, and George, who are going to hold me accountable and remind me that every single decision I make as governor will have a direct impact on their life and the life of every kid in Arkansas. That is not at all something I take lightly, but it is something I know I'm ready to take on.
Sanders says she knows that Arkansas can be first and that she's committed to being the leader that can take our state there. In Little Rock, covering news where you live, Catherine Gilker, 5 News.
All right, taking a look now at how voters voted for the next Arkansas governor, with 93% of the precincts reporting. You can see here Chris Jones there at the top with 35%, Sarah Huckabee Sanders 63%, Ricky Dale Harrington with 2%. Again, only 93% reporting precincts at this time. At 5newsonline.com, we'll have the updates as those come in. All right, meanwhile, the race for Lieutenant Governor of Arkansas, Republican and current Attorney General of Arkansas, Leslie Rutledge leading with 64% of the vote. Democratic candidate NWA resident Kelly Kraut at 32% and the Libertarian candidate Frank Gilbert at 4%. Now in Oklahoma, the final results, 100% of precincts reporting Kevin Stitt will see a second term as governor. Now he led with 55% of the votes in this race, with Democrat Joy Hoffmeister getting 42% and Libertarian candidate Natalie Bruno at 1.4%. All right, now before we get to some more election coverage around our area, let's get a check of the weather with meteorologist Zach Scott. Hey, Zach.
Hey, Joe, thanks. Yeah, we've got some mild weather that's been here the last few days. That's sticking around a couple more days, and then the colder side of fall is going to return. That cold air is going to come blasting in. It's not going to be around just for a day or two. This cold pocket of air is likely going to stick around Friday through the weekend and into what looks like at least the first half of next week, with maybe a reinforcing shot of some cooler air. So enjoy the weather today. It's a little warmer. We're looking at more 80s mixed in across the area because we're anticipating more sunshine, less cloud cover mixing in like what we've seen the last couple of days. We'll get another mild night, some 60s going into Thursday morning again, and then Thursday night. That's when the changes take place. This cold front still off to the north today will be moving through, and that colder air on the backside is going to rush in, and that colder air again is going to sit around for a couple of days. When the front comes in, we're also going to be tracking the chance for some showers. Now, Thursday does look dry for the most part. As we get into the evening hours of Thursday, that's when we'll start to see those rain chances going up. We'll have to watch the speed of the front, but again, it looks like it's more of a late evening kind of deal. So our rain chances will be highest Thursday night with some lingering shower chances as we go into Friday. I'll tell you too, the last time we had rain and thunderstorms, Friday, November 4th, we had the showers, we had the thunderstorms, we had the severe weather. We're not looking at that same kind of setup. Best chances for severe weather look to stay to the north of us. We'll keep our eyes on that for you. But as it stands right now, we should just see some scattered showers and maybe a few rumbles of thunder. Again, we're in the warm sector for your Wednesday. For your Thursday, here comes that colder air. It'll be in place as we go through the day on Friday, and watch these darker blues and purples invading the central U.S. A big cool down, not just for us, but for a big portion of the country. We'll continue to track that for you. Again, we're talking about temperatures by Saturday morning in the low 20s for northwest Arkansas, upper 20s, low 30s for the River Valley. Wind chills Saturday morning, teens to 20s. So again, the cold air, it's on its way. We'll continue to track this forecast in the coming days.
All right. Thanks so much, Zach. All right. Some more election coverage for you. Arkansas voters saw 4 ballot issues in this year's elections. Issue 1, which would allow for lawmakers to call a special session. Now take a look right here on your screen. 61% voted against, 39% for, with 87% of votes reported for this right now. Under current law, the governor is the only one who can call for a special session for lawmakers to discuss bills. Now, issue 2, which would increase the percentage of votes required to pass most statewide ballot issues from 50% plus to needing to have a 60% of votes on this one. The majority is saying no at this time, with 87% reporting. And looking at issue 3, the Religious Freedom Amendment, it's a very close race, 50% against, 50% for. Just a few thousand votes is separating the two. Now, this would provide a legal claim in court for a person to seek relief against the government for imposing on their freedom of religion. Supporters of this bill, like Jason Rapert, is using COVID-19 as an example, saying people lost their jobs when required to be vaccinated despite religious exemptions. Meanwhile, saying those opposed are concerned this bill could allow people protection when they claim they committed a crime in the name of religion. And now to issue 4, a measure to legalize recreational marijuana in Arkansas. It will not pass. The Associated Press made the call around 11:30 last night. It was one of the biggest and most debated issues on this year's midterm ballot. Let's take a look at where things stand, with 92% of precincts reporting at this point, with 56% voting no on this, 44% voting yes. 5 News reporter Michael Wilson was outside of a dispensary in Rogers. He spoke with those in support and those against issue 4. Take a look.
Hey, good morning to you. Yeah, it looks like issue 4 ended up failing despite that strong support in the beginning to actually get it on the ballot, which we know it faced several challenges. It had to go through the Supreme Court to actually get it on the ballot. But I want you to take a look at some of this video so I can explain to you what would have happened if issue 4 passed. It would allow Arkansas to join about 19 other states who have already legalized recreational cannabis, and it would allow those 21 and up to actually purchase recreational cannabis. But ultimately, again, it did end up failing despite that strong support at the beginning. I did speak with Jerry Cox with Family Council, which is a conservative group. He tells me a reason why he believes it ended up failing is because it was poorly written. He says people who are actually for recreational marijuana, just marijuana in general, did not support this bill because of the way it was written. Now, I did ask Responsible Growth Executive Director Eddie Armstrong about this. He says now that it has failed, he will take a look back and revisit it and possibly try to get it back on the ballot in 2024 as his next steps. But I did ask both of them their thoughts on the results of this election, and here's what they had to say.
This is never an easy process, and just thank you to the supporters and the believers out there that really, took a bold step, whether they wanted you to know in public that they voted for this or against this. We understand that this is Arkansas.
We're glad the people of Arkansas saw through this terrible, terrible amendment and voted it down.
And again, issue 4 ended up not passing despite that strong support in the beginning. And we'll just have to wait till 2024 to see if it will be back on the ballot. For now, in Rogers, covering news where you live, Michael Wilson, 5 News.
And while legalizing marijuana did not pass in Arkansas, let's break it down on how some of the counties in our area voted on this issue. Benton County, 54% of voters were against it. In Washington County, though, the majority of voters were hoping for it to pass, with 52% voting in favor. In Crawford County, 61% said no. The majority in Sebastian County also voted against recreational marijuana, with 53% of voters saying no. Washington County is the only one in our area that had the majority voting in favor. Again, this is just a county breakdown. Overall, legalizing marijuana failed in the state by a majority vote. Well, those are some of your top stories and weather on this Wednesday. I'm Joe Ellison. Make sure you join us again tomorrow right here for more of the latest news and weather. Have a great day.